Now, Viking fans, stand up. You should already be standing anyway, but here's where you really stand up. It's time for SKOL Check-In. Cut day in the NFL. It's a tough day for a lot of players. You know, young guys, vets. Man, it's a tough day. Something that happens every year. And oddly enough, it usually happens on the weekend, but because of the change of the preseason schedule, it's happening Tuesday. And final cuts will definitely all be known by Wednesday when this episode released. When it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, some notable cuts, so surprising names, a surprising name to say the least. Everson Griffen just got signed last week, played pretty well in the preseason game against Kansas City. And it was a big deal when they brought Everson Griffen back. Remember, he had a lot of success with the Vikings throughout his career there, a guy who was highly respected in the organization, clearly respected on the football field. So it was safe to say I felt like he would have been, on the 53, but he didn't make it. How surprising was that news to you, Pat P?
I just saw it. That was very surprising. But this business. Nothing too much take you by surprise now. You know what I mean? So, I see that they're probably going to bring him back. I really don't know the rules and how the roster works.
Oh, you know what they might be doing, Pat P? I just thought about it. They might bring him back after week one, because if they bring him back after week one, his is not guaranteed.
Yes, that's
his salary is not. They can cut him at any given time. That's what they might be trying to do.
So we'll see. I think he's definitely got some left in the tank. Obviously, we saw that having 4 quarterback hurries and a sack in the Kansas.
He had 4.
I believe it was a couple of them. Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 quarterback hurries and a sack. So
wow.
I thought he would be very productive for us, but we'll see.
We'll see. Other notable names that didn't make it: Jake Browning, Nate Stanley, running back Amir Abdullah, Dakota Dozier, Chad Beebe, Kenny Wilkes, and Zach Davison. Didn't make the cut. Chad goes on IR. He was injured. Very, very dark day in the NFL. And hopefully a lot of guys that I just mentioned get picked up somewhere, and hopefully you guys bring back Everson Griffen. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back after week one, because like I said, listeners and viewers, if you cut a veteran player before week one, if you bring him back after week one, his salary is not guaranteed. It's more of a business decision that's in favor of the organization, because they don't have to guarantee him his salary. If he makes the 53 right now, he's guaranteed. They can, regardless what happens. So maybe that was more of a business type move for the Vikings, but only time will tell. Preseason week 3 reaction. A lot of you guys didn't play. A lot of the starters didn't play. Pat Mahomes, his guys went out and played, and you can tell the difference. He was going against twos, and Pat Mahomes is a good situation. I mean, it's a tough situation for ones. Better yet, going against the twos, and they look real good. Overall takeaway from the preseason for you, Pat P, is what?
Not really. It's hard to take away, but as far as a total team, you had so many pieces in there playing with guys, that they wasn't accustomed of being with in practice. You know what I mean? So the timing may not have been there. As far as on the offensive side of the ball, and on defense, you want to get guys in there, and because our team is on, the back half of the defense, like the backups are all young guys, so you want to give them more opportunities than possible, so when the lights are bright in the real situation, they'll be more than ready. So for me, I was looking more for execution, seeing if guys can play fast, see if guys can line up and be able to, execute their job at a high level. You know what I mean? I believe we took some strides. I thought Cam played great in the second half of the preseason. Chris Boyd, I thought he played solid. I know there are some plays out there for him to still make, but all these guys are still young. They're still learning their way, and it was a great thing.
Boyd 29, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like him. He put a lot of energy.
It was good to see them continue to take those steps in the right direction to be in the right position to be able to help the team.
I like him. Outside of that reaction on the field, he did have an injury to a key significant player. I've been hyping all year long off season.
We had him on.
No,
we didn't have Irv on.
We have Irv on. Alabama guy, Irv Smith. We got to get Irv on, but underwent meniscus surgery. He's expected to miss the start of the season. It might be safe to say the first 2 or 3 ball games. Tyler Conklin is his backup. What kind of blow is that? Because Irv was balling this throughout camp and everything like that. So what kind of blow is that to this offense?
That's a big blow because, having Irv throughout mini camp, OTAs, training camp, you can see that he was going to be a big part of the offense. And he was one of the key guys that was going to, keep defenses honest. You know what I mean? So we just got to go back to the drawing board. I think Tyler is a good fit in there as a tight end. He's been making plays all camp as well. Been I think early on in camp he was dealing with like an ankle injury or something like that. But for the most part, I think he'll be up for the task. I just saw we traded for
Chris Herndon.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Chris Herndon from New York, the Jets. Let me tell you a little bit about him, Pappy. I don't know if you saw a lot about him, but he had a few years ago, he had a real good year with the Jets. He's been dealing with some injuries, but athletically speaking, he's a gifted guy. He just hasn't been able to hit that stride they thought he would hit in New York. And I think this could be a quiet, under the radar type of move that could really be beneficial. Depends on how fast he can pick up the offense. He's more athletic than Tyler. He has a higher ceiling. He just hasn't been consistent. So when you look at what he has surrounding him when it comes to the other pass catchers, I mean, you don't need to do too much when you got Justin, when you got Adam Thielen, you got Dalvin Cook. Just be where you're supposed to be. And Captain Kirk gonna get you the football.
Yep, just be where you need to be.
Yep. Outside of the Irv Smith injury and the trade for Chris Herndon, who should be, like I said, he should be a pleasant surprise in Minnesota. Let's see if I'm right. Harrison Smith, the hitman who we've had on the show. I love seeing our guests get paid. The hitman.
Yes, sir.
Man just went and sat on top of the bank with a crowbar. He tried to break it. Tried to break the bank with a crowbar. 4 years, $64 million. He's the second highest paid safety in the NFL, only behind Jamal Adams. Special safety. He's not just a guy who just delivers blows. He also picks off passes. Most interceptions since 2012. You got Richard Sherman, 32, Marcus Peters, 31, and Harrison Smith, 28. Our very own Pat Peterson, they're 26.
Yeah, I got 28, by the way.
You got
we're tied. Then we talked about.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you got to. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this much: we got 2 Vikings. We got 2 Vikings on the top 4 list since 2012. So that means something, right?
Hey,
that secondary should be fire. Harrison's making 16 million per year. What makes Harrison so special? You got a chance to work with him. Clearly, you knew about his game being in the NFL, but not seeing him up close and personal every day, man. What makes Harrison so special?
When a guy spends 10 years in the league, it's just, they go about their business the right way. Harry comes to work every day. He's a pro. He's a great communicator, and that's what is a natural gift that most great safeties have. They're able to communicate across the board. And, that's just, and obviously his athletic ability and his play on the field speaks for itself, but the way he's able to communicate and get guys lined up and also still play at a high level is pretty remarkable. Like I said, the great ones all have that trait. And he's definitely one that I view in that same class, so being able to work with him each and every day has been a pleasure, so I'm excited for the season to finally get here, to get this ass cutting time going, baby.
That's what time it is. That's what time it is. We had him on the show. He was fired up too.
Yeah.
Boy, it'd be a great treat, boy, if I can tell you this much of Pat P and the Hitman can combine for like 12 picks. Even number, either 10, 12, 14, 8, 10, 12, 14. Those are the numbers. I ain't talking about blackjack.
I like
8, 10, 12, 14. Minnesota Vikings, let me know how you feel about that. Can a Hitman and Pat P combine for that? That'd be nice. Print the shirts, though. What time it is, Pat P?
Cutting time, Jack.
Starting the week. Don't worry, we're gonna have a heck of a week 1 show next week for you guys, but we gonna slow it down. We can't get fired up just yet. Gotta go ahead and just sip on some wine and just chill a little bit right now. Ain't ready to get. It's not time to get fired up. Shout outs, Harrison Smith. Shout out to Minnesota, man. Go ahead and doing what they're supposed to do, man. To a guy who definitely was deserving of a huge payday. Went out and made him the second highest paid safety in the game, man. Shout out to Minnesota, the Vikings, and shout out to the hitman, Harrison Smith.